OITPC, Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Well, it's been a few days since I put a video out again here, but we're back at it. Got a codger and a corn cob and tobacco tin Tuesday for you. We'll get into some of that in just a bit, though. But just thought I'd maybe share just a little bit what I've been up to. A lot of it has just been up north. I took basically a 4-day weekend last weekend. Took Thursday and Friday off and went up north and did a few odds and ends. Tried to do a little bit of spring cleaning, and I wasn't planning on taking Thursday and Friday off, but we're planning on building a small cabin there this summer, and trying to do it on the cheap as much as possible. So one of the things that I do to try to keep it on the cheap is, well, lumber's obviously expensive right now, so kind of keeping an eye out on various online auctions to see if I can find some building materials for less than retail price. And I believe it was last Wednesday I did find just that. There was a Tuesday, Wednesday, what doesn't matter. One day last week there was an auction that had a bunch of surplus building materials. And among the materials that were on this auction was some like tongue and groove pine that we were planning on putting in the ceiling of our little cabin. So got enough to do the whole ceiling, and I got it for pretty cheap. I got enough to do the whole ceiling of the cabin and the porch, and probably 20 cents on the dollar. This is basically new surplus stuff that I don't know if it was a place that went out of business or what the deal was, but and it had been moved around a few times, so some of the boards on the corner of the unit that was bundled up were banged up a little bit, but you get it that cheap, you can deal with a couple banged up corners. So I got that, and of course, cabin in the woods, I'm trying to stick with natural wood as much as possible on it. And I've got a chainsaw mill, and I intend to mill up some of the lumber myself, but as much as I need, even for just a small cabin that's well under 500 square feet, is still a lot of time for a chainsaw mill to do everything that I want to. So, and that tongue and groove, that's a bunch of labor beyond just milling, which I've got a planer molder that I could make all the tongue and groove and stuff with, but still, that's a lot of time, and time is limited. Time is money, as they say. So it was well worth my time and money to take a day off of work, drive, I think it was about 150 miles away where I had to go to pick it up. And so time, money, mileage, gas, all that, well worth it. And I got some siding too. Got a little bit on our 100-year-old house, or siding for our 100-year-old house here too, that has a few places that are damaged, and I was planning on just buying the few pieces that I need at retail, but I got a whole bundle enough to do the whole cabin basically of, I think it was a cedar or hemlock. I think it was hemlock. Clear vertical grain hemlock bevel siding, say for pennies on the dollar. So I got plenty to fix everything I need to on the house, plus do the whole cabin for next to nothing. So went and picked that up on Thursday. My son came with me, which him and I don't get to spend near as much time together as I'd like. He's done with his first year of college now, so he just finished up last week, so he's got nothing going on until he finds a summer job here. Hopefully he'll get one pretty soon. But I mainly brought him with just in case I needed help if they didn't have equipment to load these units on my trailer. But fortunately they had a forklift with a skid steer with forklift tines there, so that wasn't an issue. But came back home and I was planning on heading to the place up north on Thursday night, but a few other things were going on, and then my trailer broke. It's a little 16-foot tandem axle trailer, and the little rocker piece between the two axles broke, which I knew it was worn out, and I'd bought the replacement parts like a year ago. I just never got around to it. Well, when it broke, it's time to get around to it. So got that fixed on Thursday night, and by the time I got it done, it was too late to really leave to head up north. So got going early Friday morning and just kind of did some spring cleaning around the place. Try to do a few little odd jobs that had been pushed off for a while. One of the big things that I was trying to do was I got my old tractor up there. It's a old international utility tractor with a loader, and been having some 50-year-old tractor. It's always got problems. So the fuel pump was having issues, so I got electric fuel pump for it. Easier to retrofit it to an electric fuel pump than it is to try to source and replace the factory fuel pump. So got that, and then ran into some of the starter issues again that I was having last fall that I thought I had fixed, but apparently I didn't. So I'm going to have to pull that starter off and probably have to do a full rebuild on the starter. So I was working on that on Friday when it was raining, because I got my little tent garage that the tractor's parked in. So and Saturday I had to make a run to town to get some parts for it, and did a few other odd jobs around. And I figured Sunday I better get that lumber unloaded, because I needed to come back Sunday afternoon. So I'm looking at this trailer. It's got 2,000-3,000 pounds of lumber on it. I really didn't want to unload it one piece at a time and stack it someplace, so found a place halfway close to where the cabin is going up, and backed up to a tree and wrapped some tow straps around the whole unit and tied the tow straps and ratchet straps to a tree, and put the old Suburban in 4 low and pulled forward. Of course, I'm try to be a little bit cautious, not to just go for broke with everything. But so I got it about halfway off, and I stopped and went out and looked, readjusted the pallets that it was going to drop on. Just so that it would be centered on the pallets when it came off. And then when I went back into the Suburban to pull it off the rest of the way, promptly got stuck because, of course, all the weight is on the back of the trailer and lifting up the back of the Suburban. And even though I was in 4-wheel drive, and I've got, there's like a locker rear end on the back, but both rear tires were spinning and it was a little uneven ground, so only one front tire was spinning. Not getting any traction. So then I'm like, now what do I do? First thought is get the tractor and give the Suburban a pull, and I remember the tractor can't get it started right now. So get out and assess the situation a little bit and scratch my head and kind of looked at it a little closer, and what it was hanging up on was the back of the trailer. It's got a wooden deck, and then there's the angle iron lip at the back that holds the wooden 2x12s of the deck in, and one of the, I don't know what you call them, not a pallet, but just it's a 2x3 that's got the strap that holds the whole unit together. That was hanging up on that rear lip, and I couldn't really get a pry bar or anything under there to lift it up and get it past that lip. So what I ended up doing, since there was a couple of those straps along these whole 16-foot long boards, I just ended up cutting the strap of the one that was hanging up and went in and pulled ahead, and the whole thing dropped off. So it took me a little bit longer than I was planning on to get it unloaded, but got her done. I think I'm out of butane in my lighter. This is the lighter that Carolina Rose gave me probably about a year ago now. This has been my go-to lighter. I think it's just a basic Amazon lighter. It's got the tamper built in, and works great as long as it doesn't get run out of butane. So you always keep a extra lighter within reach. So I got the Bic here. So anyway, that was my weekend. And my last video, I'm sure everybody that commented noticed that didn't get back to you right away. I'm recording this Monday night, but finally got back to and responded to all the comments here just right before I started recording here. So been watching a fair amount of the YouTube, but not too much on the YTPC lately. Most of the stuff that I've been watching has been on, construction techniques for cabin building, because kind of leaning towards doing a kind of a traditional timber frame with traditional hand-cut joinery and stuff, so which will be fairly labor intensive, but it's a small building, it shouldn't be too bad. definitely take longer than slapping a couple of 2x4 walls together and putting them up and putting some trusses on, but I think that'll kind of suit a little cabin in the woods better than just stick frame 2x4 walls. And kind of leaning towards the timbers themselves for the timber frame. I'll probably mill those up myself, because to buy those, they're not even really that big of timbers. I'm looking at probably 6x6, maybe even 5x5 for the main columns. But even to buy those is pretty expensive. So, and I've got the trees, got some dead standing stuff that is pretty solid, so should be able to use that. Kind of really wanted to do a log cabin up there, but even though I've got a fair, there's thousands of trees on the property, but I don't really want to cut down a bunch of healthy trees to make a cabin. I don't know that I got enough dead standing that's in good shape to make a whole log cabin. So, at least not that I can get to very easily. I think I figured it out one time. I'd probably need at least 75, if not 100 trees that are probably at least 10-inch diameter, 8 to 10-inch diameter, in order to make a good log cabin. Which a lot of my trees were planted probably about 40 years ago, so they're getting to that 7-8 inch diameter size, most of them. And some of it could probably stand a thinning here pretty soon, but the trees that were planted is just a couple acres of the property. The rest of it is kind of natural forest, second growth forest that probably just was naturally occurring after the area was logged 100 years ago or more. Going to the old lighter by habit. So, anyway, so hoping to get up there on this Memorial Day weekend, but I won't be able to. I don't think I'll be able to be up there for the whole weekend. But hopefully do Friday and Saturday anyway. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. So that's why I haven't been really commenting on hardly any videos. Well, I'm a lousy commenter to begin with. Typically I watch a lot of YTPC videos and only comment on a small fraction of them, just because I watch on the TV and my TV doesn't allow me to comment. So if I comment, I gotta pull up the video on my phone and then comment from there, which isn't really that big a deal. But then, like I say, I've been watching more non-YTPC videos the last couple of weeks, so haven't haven't been watching too many pipe videos lately, but so now that I rambled on for 20 minutes about up north and stuff that I've been up to the last week, might as well get into our codger and a corn cob and tobacco tin Tuesday. Let's start with my corn cob, just a Missouri Meerschaum Legend. This is one of them that is dedicated to codger blends. Nothing too special about it. And in it, I got my go-to codger, Carter Hall. Now, the Carter Hall, I mean, that's, say, my go-to codger. Just a good basic pipe blend. You know? Now, if I'd have tried this my first couple months of pipe smoking, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it very much. But after a few months, my palate has developed a little bit, and I can appreciate it more for what it is. And like when I'm up north, in the evenings sometimes I'll have something else, or maybe I'll have one bowl of something during the day. But if I'm just enjoying a pipe while I'm doing some outdoor work, Carter Hall is usually what's in it. Now, set my pipe down, get to our tobacco tin. Kind of getting low on the really interesting tobacco tins. But this one is kind of interesting. Imperial Mixture, Hudson Bay Company. Now this one's missing the lid. It's got some writing on the bottom. We got the Governor and Company of Adventurers of England, trading into Hudson's Bay. Now, I haven't really done any research on this particular one to have any idea how old it is. Let's see, it says made in Canada. Oh no, there's some small print here. Made in Canada, factory number 8, Inland Revenue Division number 17. Okay, so that doesn't really tell us a whole lot, but I'm guessing that, of course, this is one from my mother's collection. Now, made in Canada, back in the 80s, my mom and dad did a lot of picking for antiques up in Canada. Go up in the Winnipeg area, typically. Sometimes even just a couple miles over the border, but I don't think they ever went further north than Winnipeg. Not that there really is a whole bunch for antique picking north of Winnipeg, but spent a fair amount of time when I was a kid too. I got to go with on a couple of the trips. They'd hit the antique shops and do some word of mouth that this person has some stuff in their barn, or this person's a collector and might be willing to sell some stuff. Kind of like American Pickers on TV a little bit. And so Mom probably bought this at an antique shop or from somebody that maybe just had it sitting on the wall in their garage or barn or something that we were going through. Being it says made in Canada. I don't remember for sure, but to me that would make sense where she got this one. She's got a few other Canadian tins in her collection. I'm guessing that's probably where most of them came from, was on one of the buying trips in the mostly in the late 80s when we'd go up there. There you go again, grabbing the pipe lighter out of habit. So hopefully I can get this video uploaded yet tonight so that it can go live on Tuesday, and maybe this week I can finally get some more videos of up north. And I don't know that we're gonna get really started on too much actual construction just yet, because say I still have to mill up all the timbers, or there's sawmills all over the place up there too, little one-man operations and stuff that I might be able to get a good deal on some timbers if I don't feel like taking the time to mill it myself. But see, I got a lot of dead standing that I got to do something with, and so might as well mill it up into timbers. So anyway, with that, we're running kind of long as usual here, so with that I'll let you go. This is Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Have a good day.